Okay, we're here today at CalPERS with Dr. Dan Rudd, where today Dan talked to us about emotional fitness training, the new science of health and happiness. Dan, what exactly is emotional fitness?
I use the term emotional fitness is synonymous with emotional intelligence. I use the word fitness because it implies that, and it's true that whatever our level of fitness, we can improve it through training. And basically, emotional fitness is, first of all, being aware of your own mood or emotion and the mood or emotion of the other person. When we're emotionally fit, we don't get as stressed out or as emotionally aroused. And if we do, we recover much faster. Much like if you're healthy, your heart rate goes up when you exercise, but it goes down quickly. So if you're more emotionally resilient, your heart rate might go up under stress, but it comes back. Things just don't stress you out as much.
Yeah.
You are able to remain calm even if the situation is a tense or challenging one.
Yeah. Well, companies like Marvel have filled up our screens with superheroes, with all these superpowers. But today you talked a little bit about how to be an everyday hero. What does that
Right.
mean to you?
Right. Being an everyday hero is it's very simple, and it means there's three basic parts to it, Chris, that I think of. One is to show up, whether it's at work or at home. It's like show up, be present. Whether it's a relative's wedding or a work project that needs your assistance, show up. The other thing is be kinder than you need to be. Be kinder than necessary. Kindness is so effective in terms of producing results. The third one is to express appreciation to the people at work and at home. We can see that as soon as you appreciate someone else, the blood flow in your brain goes to the positive part of your brain. So you benefit when you appreciate others, and the other person certainly does. We're hardwired for appreciation and affection. And it's easy to forget that and just focus on what's the problem, what's wrong. And we forget that there's people around us, and we forget to thank them or appreciate them or acknowledge them. And
Yeah.
we're hardwired, we need it.
Yeah. Now you talk about expressing appreciation. It reminds me of something else you said, which brought about some numbers. There were some ratios. There was 3-to-1, 5-to-1. What do these numbers mean? I mean, and how does it affect my workplace, and how does it affect my home life?
Oh, great question. One of the things that's so exciting about emotional fitness and training is the same things that work well at work to have better work teams, people get along and be more productive, work at home. And appreciation is one of them. The number one complaint of employees in the workplace is not feeling appreciated. And it's a pretty simple thing to do. I mean, even if you have an employee that's struggling, there's things that they're contributing, things that you can appreciate. Thanks for hanging in there, even though it's really tough right now. And at home, the same thing. So it's very exciting. These ratios have to do with the 5-to-1, and actually comes from the field of marital therapy. And John Gottman and his wife are kind of the gurus about a relationship that will last versus one that won't. And the bottom line is, if you have 5 positive comments to your partner, for every one critical one, you will have a successful and happy relationship. It's real easy for us just to find out what's wrong, and we forget about all the things that are right. So that's at home, whether it's with our kids or our partners or our family members. At work, it's actually 2.9. I just rounded off to 3.0, but this guy named Losado did the same research on successful workplace. And so this research correlates positive comments to the employees with the success of the organization. And at work, if there's 2.9 or 3 positive comments for each critical one, that indicates your organization will be successful and productive. So it's exciting. We can change the environment at work and change the environment at home. Our brains are shaped by our environment. So if we start appreciating people, everybody benefits.
Yeah. Now, a lot of us have workplaces and jobs that are primarily mind jobs. They're cognitive.
Right.
But you talked a little bit today about the mind-body unity and things that we can do physically
Right.
to replenish our mind, to flourish more, even in our jobs.
Oh, absolutely. Again, this stuff is all like exciting to me because our physical body needs to have exercise. It needs to be moving, and most, as you know, most of our jobs are sedentary, and we were hardwired to be upright and moving. So we have to exercise to be physically healthy. For example, one case of type 2 diabetes costs an organization $10,000 a year. And type 2 diabetes is a result of unhealthy eating and stressful life and lack of exercise. It's not like type 1, which is inherited. Well, one thing is taking a break. Dan Goleman talks about the muscle of the mind, and that's focus and attention, and that after you use it for a while, it gets tired, just like a physical muscle would. You need to take a break. So since sitting is bad and that muscle needs a break, I recommend it. Don't sit there all day. Take a break. Go for a walk. Get outside.
So we're not wasting time by taking a break.
No.
We're actually being more productive.
I spend a lot of time assuring people that they go, I'm too busy to take a break. It's proven you're more productive if you take a break. Because your attention, there's different figures about how long, but certainly after an hour, it begins to wane. And so just taking a walk outside helps us emotionally and physically and mentally. And so physical activity helps our physical and emotional state. I exercise every day because if I do, my mood and my energy are pretty darn good, and if I don't, not so much.
Yeah.
So it just makes me feel better,
Yeah.
emotionally and physically.
That makes sense. Well, one of the things we talked about today, we talked about emotional fitness zones, and we actually, everyone that left the meeting today, the training today, walked away with one of these cards. Can you tell us a little bit about these cards and how people use them and how they're helpful to people?
I will.
Okay.
And everybody that's watching this, put this on your fridge or on your dashboard. Take a picture and put it on your phone. The brain likes what's familiar, so even though we talked about a lot of cool stuff today, it's easy to go back to the familiar habits. This card is a little reminder, and I encourage people to explain it to their family because we're all in one of these 5 emotional zones, and it's just a reminder to go, oh, what zone I'm in. People get stressed out, and they're stressed all day long, and there are remedies to it. So it's number one, to help us, okay, be tuned into our own emotional state. And if we're worried or stressed or unhappy, there's a reason for it. And there's something that we can do to help that. It's also a good way to communicate with other people. Again, at home or at work, it's like, oh, I'm in zone 4, I need to go take a break, or, Dad, you're in zone 4. It's a polite and respectful way to communicate about the mood that we're in. Our feelings are our feelings, but behavior can be good or bad. If we're up in zone 4 or 5, our behavior is not going to be good. So we need to take a break. And there's simple ways. We want to live pretty much in zone 1, 2, and 3. As soon as we get to 4, emotion swamps cognition. So that's that stress matrix.
So like we have this phrase, he lost his mind or she lost her mind, and literally it's somewhat true then, huh?
It's absolutely true. In zone 4, we're stupid, and you cannot be kind, generous, or nice when you're in zone 4. Zone 5 is dangerous because your behavior is completely ruled by your emotion.
What are some of the things when we feel we're able to recognize zone 4 coming on? What are some things we can do as a intervention on ourselves?
Right. Well, there's 2 areas of dealing with that. One is prevention, and if we do something every day, exercise, yoga, meditation, prayer, we're going to be more and more emotionally fit over time, and more emotionally resilient and happier and calmer. So there's the kind of the ongoing, what you might call prevention. Don't wait till you get sick. Then there is there's situations that triggers, and all of a sudden we go, oh, I'm all stressed out. Immediate antidotes. Number 1 is time out. Step back. If you're interacting with someone and you're in zone 4, they're going to be in zone 4, all of a sudden argument. And we say mean things to people that we care about. So the timeout is the first tool. If you're in zone 4, step back, be quiet, go for a walk, go to your room, step back from what's stressing you out. Then, very simple things, just doing the centered breathing that we practice. It's called the relaxation response. Breathe and focus your mind on something that brings you joy. So that's a tool to use in the moment, and you can calm yourself right down. It's called the parasympathetic nervous system. You can consciously control it just by doing centered breathing. Very cool, I think.
That's right. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, Dan, thank you so much for being with us today. I know everyone had a great time, and we hope they can put these cards to work.
Yeah, put it on the fridge. And thank you, Continuity Consulting, for inviting me.
Yep, thank
Okay.
you.